to imagine that here you are with us, coming into the temple, spending some time together, finding your best self, letting go of thoughts that don't help you, letting go of feelings that don't help you, and making some space and time to focus on your best self, to be your best self, to be at peace, to be aware. Everyone here in the temple is making their way in. If you're out there on the live stream, you've just got me in person. So I hope this has been enjoyable for all of you. So as I just wait for everyone to come and join us, I've asked everybody who's here for any requests for topics and themes that we may cover. So if you've just tuned in, just let you think about that. In a little while, I'm going to ask what kind of things you'd like us to cover today. And I'm going to just turn off the music. Great. So we're just going to start with our intention setting. So just to think about why we're here, why we're spending this time together. I hope the meditation is nice for you. I invite you to take a moment and just feel that intention. When we have the meditation or when we have contemplations, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to be exploring your mind and just enjoying that experience. But I also hope that perhaps you'll cultivate a deeper sense of peace or a feeling of letting go of wherever your mind is and coming back to what you choose. Perhaps you'll have beautiful feelings of kindness or positive. I hope that you have something inspiring or transformative or awesome. Some of us, we will have that in some of our meditations. I also intend for every one of you that your sense of empowerment grows when you think about yourself, that you feel that you get to choose your habits and your thoughts and your feelings. So often in life, we're taught that I'm just like this or I just feel like this. But if we really embrace that you choose where you put your attention, you choose what you tell yourself. I want to make these sessions not just level that up to 50% or twice as good. I want you to feel 10,000 times more empowered. And we'll just take a few breaths for you also to remember any other positive intentions we've set and just set that intention. Whether that's cultivating goodness for those around you, maybe it's something specific, making a new habit or a new feeling for some part of your life. Maybe you're trying to resolve something or just take some moment to set some intention that our meditation and the things we talk about and contemplate, you'll use them for yourself. You'll use them not just a little bit, but you'll envisage them being massively helpful for you so that your creativity gets a chance of putting it into use massively. All right. So, welcome everybody. If you're new here, welcome. The format that I normally like to take on these Monday night sessions is something like we'll do a welcome meditation, then we'll have a discussion, and we'll finish with a closing meditation. Sometimes that discussion takes us in and out of different meditations. Sometimes it's very much me guiding contemplations based on the topic that came up. Sometimes it's just a lot of us all sharing perspectives and learning together. I see there's quite a few new people to my sessions here. So the approach I like to take is that, as I said, I want you to be the master of your own consciousness. And when we say something that might sound big, I'm never talking some spiritual idea. Everything I'm talking about, I want it to be practical and applicable. If I talk about cultivating peace, I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, I want you to ask, what does it mean to grow peace or cultivate peace? And if I talk about some massive change in yourself, I'm not talking about that taking years or lifetimes. I'm trying to get you to envisage what those massive changes will be like. I want us to be brain engineers, practicing how we want to be, letting go of things that don't serve us. And these sessions are for you. So if I say something that sort of sounds a bit weird, or like I'm phrasing it in a way that doesn't feel natural for you, please ask, because I want these to be applicable and awesome. I want you to understand every bit of it. I want these to be awesome for you. So welcome everybody. And I guess I should say that everything that I share in these sessions are things that were or are awesome for me. I never share something that I read that sounds like a good idea. It's only things that have been applicable and awesome in my own life. So yeah, I hope this session is also awesome for you. So we're going to start with a little welcome meditation, and from there we'll go into discussion, and I'll make this starting meditation just brief. So maybe we'll go into some more meditations today if the discussion takes us there. If you're brand new to meditation, just imagine it's like a daydream, just being read a story, and you just sort of let your attention just enjoy it. And there's no such thing as being good or bad at meditation. When you've been practicing more, often more beautiful feelings happen and more amazing stuff happens. But it's not about doing that. It's about just enjoying the process. I had a great yoga teacher once tell me, actually I've heard it a few times from yoga teachers, some yogis can tie themselves up in knots and stand on one finger. And they said, but perfect yoga isn't about being able to do any of those fancy stretches. It's about feeling where your body is right now and just enjoying, exploring what your body does. And as you do that each time, you get more strong, more in control, more flexible. And that is perfection. In this moment, being present with it. And the same is true when we're stretching our minds. So let's dive into the meditation. I'm just going to start by checking in with our body. How are you sitting? Feel your feet and your legs and your hips. If you're cross-legged, well, I'm sitting on one cushion, but I feel my knees are much higher than my hips. So I'm going to bring another cushion in so that I'm sitting up higher. Many people find if their hips are higher than their knees, their posture will feel better and they'll be able to sit for longer. If you're sitting in a seat, many people find that having their feet flat on the ground to be really beneficial. But I just invite you to feel your legs, Feel your hips, feel your feet. Move around a little bit with that idea of getting really comfortable. And just with that intention of getting comfortable, you probably find that you can adjust where your feet or your legs are in a way that feels nicer. And then we're going to bring our attention into our lower back and your upper back and your shoulders and your neck, and just move your posture around. That idea of, hey, I'm going to sit in a way that is empowering and is also peaceful. Just hold that idea in mind. Probably want to pull your shoulders up and back. Imagine your chest, your posture feeling strong. And then let your body become still. And then again, feel the bottom of your spine and just bring yourself up. And any little adjustments. Maybe you want to move your lower spine forward. Maybe you've noticed one part of you that you want to tip a little to one side or the other. Just feeling, being aware so that you can create a better alignment, better comfort. Feeling into your shoulders, any adjustment of your hands, your arms and shoulders. It's all so connected. Just find a way of sitting that feels good. Today I felt like bringing my hands into my lap. Sometimes I bring them to my knees. Just feel what feels good for you. If your eyes are still open, I invite you to close them. And then feel into your spine in your neck. And just adjusting your neck. Maybe it's just a millimeter, moving your head back or forward, or just feeling the muscles in the neck relaxing. Maybe you notice to tip your head a little bit to the left or the right. Maybe you just feel like you want to stretch something to release something. You just take a deep breath and feel your whole body feeling at peace. And we've brought our awareness up through our body, so let's bring our awareness up through our head. You can feel your jaw, and your cheeks, and your eyes, and your nose. Just let your face relax. And imagine this idea. We're letting our face relax, we're letting our body relax. Just letting our whole body at peace. It's like a little short vacation. And for the next few breaths, you're just going to breathe gentle, soothing breaths. Let all the feelings just drift away. Let all the thoughts drift away. Just breathe. Enjoy the feeling of each moment. You might want to try breathing in a little deeper and breathing out a little more peacefully. And you probably notice that after a few breaths, that idea of being at peace, you start to feel it more. And then a few more breaths, you'll feel it even more. A greater sense of calm, a greater feeling of being at ease. And if you've meditated a lot and had some amazing experiences, maybe you're feeling that big spaciousness or Maybe there's this feeling of glowing or openness. Maybe you're brand new to meditation and you're also noticing some really nice sensations. We'll just take another few breaths. Just the idea of peace. Just relaxing. It's pretty amazing that just 10 breaths with that intention of peace can soothe our body and soothe our mind. And I invite you to just cherish your attention. Wow, where I put my focus or how I put my focus can really shift how I feel. And if that's working for you, I'm going to say some other things for a little bit. So I'll just invite you to follow a little success spiral. Feel the good feelings, and the better you feel, the better you will feel. Feel how empowering that is to cherish your attention as you go into even deeper peace and stillness. And the better you feel, the deeper you go. And the deeper you go, the better you feel. Just watching your attention going into that peace and calm. If you're newer to meditation, or perhaps you're having just one of those days and the relaxing breaths didn't seem to soothe you very much, maybe you're noticing that your mind's doing lots of different things, different feelings are arising. And it's okay. I just invite you to take a moment to think about how amazing it is that your mind, this little blob of meat, is just doing so much stuff. And how amazing it is that you can notice what it's doing. And I invite you to imagine or feel good about the idea. If I practice noticing what it's doing, if I practice intentionally directing my attention, I'll be able to give myself greater senses of peace. I'll be able to calm my mind. Maybe you've done it before. Just give yourself a moment to remember how good it feels to be able to step into peace, be able to create stillness in your mind. And then let's all just bring our attention back together. We're all just going to take 10 more breaths. If you're in that peace, just go deeper and deeper. If your mind was doing other stuff, just noticing it, feeling good that you're practicing noticing your mind, and maybe feeling good that you know that you are practicing this skill that could bring you peace, could bring you calm. Maybe there's a half a breath here that's peaceful or a moment of peace. You're just going to get better and better at giving yourself more of those. So together we'll have 10 slow, deep breaths where you'll guide your own meditation. Notice if there's things in your thoughts now. And imagine just letting that all go. And just keep breathing as you imagine peace, calm, stillness. And for some of you, you've now cultivated deep stillness. Some of you have cultivated a little bit of peace and stillness. But I hope everybody will notice that your mind feels a little calmer, or at least more aware, more present. And soon we'll come out of the meditation. But I just invite you to sit with your own awareness. In meditation, we can prompt ourselves, and the prompts we give ourselves can create positive change. If you prompt yourself with more peace, you'll probably find more peace. If you prompt yourself with the idea of wanting to develop compassion, caring, and patience, you'll probably find compassion and patience. If you prompt yourself with the question, what would help me in my life? What attitude or change would be really important for me? So I just invite you to notice whatever just came to mind, whatever you just felt. As you reflect back on the meditation, I invite you to remember the nicest moments. Feel whatever moment of peace that you felt, or remember the, the calm in the body, or the glimpse of a positive idea or insight, or perhaps your awareness just really took off into something special. Maybe you had a knowing of what deeper meditation would be like, or some kind of drive to want to practice that, to explore it, to get better at it. And as we watch our minds coming out of the meditation, Just do that. Watch your mind. Where does your attention go? Watch what you're thinking. If you're deep in the meditation, you might not be thinking anything. But watch as you're coming out of the meditation, you start to notice the thoughts arising. You start to notice where your attention moves, moving from within yourself back into the temple, perhaps feeling your body, perhaps becoming aware of your eyes and deciding when you want to open your eyes. And I hope that everybody has had a nice experience, an insightful experience. I'm sitting up here and I get to see all of you. And so for me, I imagine each one of you and feel the positive intention for you, or perhaps imagine what it was like for you. There's a sense of caring that I feel for each one of you. And I invite all of you. Whoop. Sorry, new to using my hand controllers. I invite every one of you, look around and have a similar experience. See the people here we're sharing the temple with. Take a moment to see the person behind the avatar and maybe wish that they had some peace or some empowerment. Maybe they've been going through a hard time and the meditation let them let go of some of that. Maybe they feel stronger. Come on, I want to see you turn your head. I want to see us look around, see the people here. Maybe after class someone can tell me how to use VR chat hand controllers. um, so meditation can be a little bit like learning how to use controllers. You know, we've been given these brains and we're just thrown into the world, and there's about a million different buttons on the controllers here. Oh wow, I can turn. And you might accidentally find some skill you've got. Ah, cool, here I've learned how to relax there, or here I've learned how to make people laugh. Oh, okay, cool, I figured out how to move. um, and the thing that I really love about meditation or these kind of groups is that becoming the master of your own controller just makes you so much better at life. When you find the button that's like instant peace, cool, I've got this button that I can push in my life now. Or when you develop this skill you've got, like, oh cool, I can throw balls of love, just fill me up with happiness and often make other people feel happy. It's like if you treat life a bit like a video game, learning how to have these extra skills to control yourself or to improve what's going on, I think that is amazing. And I just invite you to reflect on the meditation you just had. Maybe you just found some new skills, or maybe you saw the beginning of a new skill. There we go. Sometimes we figure out a skill and then we kind of forget the little details, how to make it work. And that's why it's good to keep practicing, because the more you practice, the better you get at it, the easier it becomes to control things in yourself. All right, so one thing I love to do in this group is after meditation, just to invite anyone to share. And at first, I like everybody to share nice feelings they had or good insights they had, and kind of just bask in the positivity, the shared experience. And sometimes, as you're resharing, you get to feel it again, or putting it into your own words. It then becomes more part of how you talk to yourself or part of how you think. But also, it can be nice, we're all maybe still a bit meditative. And then someone over here might just say, I felt really happy. And so we kind of bask in that happiness. We all get to cultivate that goodness together. So even if you've just got one word to share, I will encourage everybody to share a little bit. Maybe you had something beautiful or big happen, especially if you had something amazing happen. I invite us all just to take a bit of time to share. And then after a little while, if you had a harder question or something trickier, then we can move to that. But let's just start this first bit of the sharing with all beautiful, all positive, all nice. Has anyone got anything from their meditation that they'd like to share? That sounds amazing. The people on the live stream can't hear us, but I want to repeat what you just said because that was beautiful. So Spectre shared that they had this feeling of no self, like hardly any thoughts. They felt their self just expand out beyond their body. I'm sure there was more you said that I missed. Could you describe it again, Spectre? It sounds amazing. No. Feeling like everything within yourself is infinity. Amazing. So if you're brand new to meditation, that might sound like far out, what's he talking about? But if you've meditated a bit and you've had some of these wow experiences, maybe you can remember something similar, or at least you're able to imagine, yeah, I could see that happening. So thank you so much for sharing, Spectre. Maybe let's all just take a moment to feel that. Imagine if you felt everything just disappear and you felt bigger than your body, beautiful stillness. What I really love about meditation is that even though I didn't have that feeling today, I have in the past. So that as you describe it, or especially as I said it out loud, I felt it again. And each time we have nice meditative experiences, it's like a new trick up your sleeve. It's a button you can push. Boom, you just touched my no self stillness infinite button. So thank you. And if you're brand new, I hope it's exciting, the idea that, hey, wow, maybe I'll have these beautiful experiences that become part of my skill set. Ed, you wanted to share? Thanks for sharing it. Pops, how was the meditation for you? You share some positive moment of it? So Pop shared that even though didn't get that focused into the meditations, likes soaking up the positive vibes. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I actually really love sharing meditation together, or when you're having a moment shared with someone that's a positive moment. And you're aware of them having a positive moment. It's kind of this shared appreciation, and then you feel better, and then you appreciate it even more. It's really beautiful how we can have good times together. It makes it so much richer. Mm. And as well as good times, you can have a moment of peace, and if you're sharing that with someone else, it can make it so much more peaceful. Or feeling of compassion, and the both of you are feeling the compassion, and then you feel even more love and care, and then you notice you're both feeling even more care. It's like the way we can feed off of each other. I think it's mind magic. Um, so we've just finished our opening meditation, and I've invited everyone to share any nice moment or nice feeling you had. Someone shared something pretty wild and profound that happened to them. But even if you just felt peaceful or happy or just some nice feeling, I'd love someone else to share. Beautiful. Tazimo felt so relaxed in the meditation that he went into yeah, he went into a unconscious hypnotic state in his meditation. Um, you know how I just rephrased it just then. Um, uh, so Tasmo said he fell asleep, but I've actually found that sometimes people think they've fallen asleep, but I could just whisper, "You're full of energy," and then they're like, "Whoa, I was just sleeping," and they're kind of like, um, I can tell it's more like a hypnosis. Your conscious mind just went into such stillness, but you're still fully in the meditation. Sometimes I'm sure people are just off sleeping, but sometimes I think we can just go so deep into the meditation or so deep in the piece that our mind goes into a different state. Our normal thinking mind is having a vacation, but our meditative mind is still present. Maybe it's a mixture of both. Maybe some parts of you sleeping and some parts of you were still meditating. So I'm glad you had a time to just be really relaxed and at peace with us. Um, Sometimes when I'm listening to guided meditations while sleeping, I like to play them throughout the night. So just believing that my subconscious is soaking up all the positive suggestions. And I've definitely had a number of times I'm in a dream with a bunch of people, and then suddenly all of us are like, right, we're on a mission to spread positivity and love, and we're running around like filling each other up with confidence and happiness and positivity. We do that for a little while, and then this voice just starts booming in from the sky. You are amazing. You are enlightened. You're more compassionate every day. And all of us are like, whoa, where's that coming from? But it was just the recording making its way into my dream. So I hope, even though you felt like you're asleep, I hope something like that was happening inside of you, Tasmo. All right. Simply shares typing. If anyone has something quick they want to share, otherwise we'll just wait for Simply. Take it. Nice, welcome. We just finished a meditation and we're just sharing nice moments that we had or insights that we experienced. You're welcome to come in and grab a cushion if you would like to. There's some up the front of the temple here. Simply, did you still want to share? I didn't see the typing pop up. I didn't see it. I just saw the dots. Okay. So there's some cushions at the front here if you want to come in. Yogi, how was the meditation for you today? Are you still deep in the meditation? Good. All right. Simply, I'm gonna be looking out for the thing you're typing. Um, oh, great. So I don't know why I didn't see the message. I'm really sorry. I'll try and fix that in my settings afterwards. But yeah, I'm so glad you're here, and I'm glad you're enjoying the vibe. Thanks for translating for me, Pops. Hmm. All right. So if you still had something positive or nice that you'd like to share, definitely still open to it. Maybe you're working yourself up to it. Please share. Oh, Flair, you ready? You want to share something? Ah, I thought I saw you waving. So also, if anyone has any questions, maybe you weren't concentrating and you would like some tips for that, or maybe you're curious about how meditation works, or you wanted some advice about something that happened, or how to improve your technique, or anything. We can still keep sharing the positive things, but also opening it up to everything. Yogi, yes? Yogi, what were you saying? I'm not sure what's going on with your audio, Yogi. We definitely would love to hear what you had to say. But I, oh, there we go. I heard you again. Um, so Pops just asked if I ever get music stuck in my head. Um, so one of the things we do when we meditate is focus on our breath, and the only way to do that is to be able to notice when your mind's doing something and let it go, so that you can come back onto breathing again. And so, after having done a lot of breathing meditation, if I notice that I'm singing or I have a song stuck in my mind, um, if I'm enjoying it, cool, I just let it play. But I never get to the state where um, I'm going to just finish this. Whoever was speaking, I'll get to that after. So, Pops, if I ever notice that I've got a song stuck in my head, I definitely now am able to imagine my mind being calm and still, the same as I do while meditating. And I'll just take a couple of breaths let my focus be on the sound of the breath and the stillness. And I've made that stillness such a big thing that just like someone could get a song stuck in their head and then the song is like big enough that it catches their attention, I've made the peace and the calm so big that when I choose to put my attention in there, it gets stuck in my head. It takes over, which is actually one of the things I wish for all of you. Practice that stillness so much. I expect I just described this no self, no thoughts, stillness, this feeling expansive, bigger than their own body, infinite feeling. Imagine if you'd done that every day for a month, and then any time in your day that stuff was going on, things were busy, was something that was making you react in a way that didn't feel good, you just push that button of infinite peace, feeling massive. That's bigger than any other thing that's going on inside you. So we make these positive parts of ourselves so big that they win. Some of you might remember when I've talked about compassion meditation. You make your loving kindness just so big and beautiful that it's bigger than any anger. You just pour the loving kindness into that other part of you and it dissolves the anger because the love is just so beautiful and epic. So the same with peace, the same with cultivating confidence and strength. Yeah. It's a great question. And not just music. So
So, well, well, I was just going to ask you, I think music in particular is, um, well thought out, and it's like this uh, beautiful poetry that has a lot of emotion to it. I mean, it's like the combination of the vocals um, music and story. It can be like so profound that it's almost like that. The thought of it in the song kind of like sticks in your head. My understanding at a very base level, this could be wrong, is music is almost rhythmic, like a heartbeat. And, like you hear your mother's heartbeat when you're like before you're born. You kind of your brain kind of gets attuned to um, certain sounds that make you happier, make you at ease. And I think some music can be almost distracting, maybe. Like I assume if you were listening to really, um, like heavy metal music that was talking about being upset all the time, and then you had that kind of music stuck in your head when you were going to meditate or listen to it recently, it might not be conducive, but it could be. Depends on the person, I guess.
so that's a really good point. Um, Music can be thoughtful and beautiful, and definitely the rhythmic, emotive aspect of it can be really impactful. And yeah, if you get some beautiful, inspiring song going on repeat in your mind, and every part of the message is something you agree with and want to cultivate, yeah, it might be great to let that keep growing. Um, so many meditators in different cultures in the world use that different mantras, different songs that are all about love or positivity or peace. And yeah, it definitely can work. Um, One thing to be careful of, this used to happen to me a lot before I started meditating, is there would be some song and it was just felt so powerfully that I let myself identify with it and internalize it. And maybe the message was harmful. Maybe it was sad or um, just had attitudes in it that hurt how I thought about people or my relationships. I said before I started meditating, even after I've been meditating, sometimes I've let myself get caught up in some song or even some movie, and the attitude that then gets into me affects me in a way that's not helpful. And so I like to think I've done a lot of mindfulness. So I hope often I'll notice when that's happening and I'm able to like decondition out of that. But I think a lot of us are affected by music and movies and stories that we internalize, and they're not always the the best thing. These songs and films weren't written by meditating brain programmers who want to make the world better. They were just putting in whatever. Some of them were intentionally making beauty and uplifting. Some of them were just expressing their emotions and the hardships they've been through. So, uh, yeah, being able to see the power of these different influences and choosing which ones you want to cultivate versus which you just want to be able to observe. Um, I think that's really important. Same's true of the mantra meditations. Some of them, if you go and look at every single word, they've been chosen for love and empowerment and positivity. And some of them are worshipping some warlord from a few thousand years ago and saying that that person is God and will do everything they say, which I think is not a good message. So, um, uh, you might have noticed, I think Pops, you once asked, let's do some mantra meditations here. Um, my hesitation is that the majority of mantras that I've seen, there are things about them that I would not say, hey, yes, every part of that is something I think is beneficial. So I tend to not advocate for mantra meditations. But there are a few. If we were very strict and we just picked the ones that were just right, there are some that are beautiful. Um, but there are many that um, the people who like them might present them as beautiful. But if you actually go and find out what they're about, then they're not as beautiful as the advocates say. But I also spent some time where I was practicing the pure, beautiful mantras. I tried to choose out the ones that were really good. And in reality, I think I spent a lot more time just singing the songs than actually cultivating the piece or cultivating the stuff. There was definitely some times where the positive part of the song became really big and really helpful, but it was always kind of wrapped up in the song. Whereas when I've just meditated on peace itself and then visualized being peace in my whole life and in my whole self, I find that so much more powerful than when I just have this song that kind of generates the vibe. But yeah, your experience might vary, but that's been my experience. Um, I actually hope that every one of us as meditators tries to fill the world with more intentional positivity, kindness, and empowerment. If any of you are musical, I hope you intentionally write some songs that create love, kindness, self awareness, that share visions of a better world. I hope we fill our culture with as much of that as possible. If you're a film writer or an artist or a video game designer, it's up to all of us the culture that we create. I mean, if you just go and watch TV or listen to any random song, you'll see there's a lot of stuff being created that's it's not the world you choose if you were trying to choose what's an awesome world. So I hope that more and more humans intentionally try to create a kind, encouraging, beautiful world. And I hope that in any way that you can do that, that you do that. It's really up to each of us to make a better world, to make a better culture. If you have friends who are musicians or writers or creators, go and jam with them and try and fill their creativity up with whatever beautiful meditative experiences you have or whatever positive values you you think are really wonderful. Yogi, I know before you were trying to share something, but the audio is a bit funny. Is it fixed up now? I saw your mic on for half a second just now. All right, there's a topic that someone requested before we started that I want to talk about. So they were saying that they've definitely noticed through meditation that some aspects of them.
I talking about there. I was gonna send you something, but now I have a question. Does waving your hand no longer count as raising your hand? I did that like 3 times. I wasn't sure if it showed it or not.
I didn't see your hands move. Or
No, I'm in Grandma, but I did this.
ah,
Well, I did this.
I thought you were just. I thought you were like high fiving, saying, "Yeah, what he just said was great." So sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
But no, I
Uh,
was and using anecdotes on and asking working out. It reminded me of World Combat, and I just imagined one of the monks at the Temple of the Sun saying, "Compassion wins, flawless enlightenment."
Beautiful. Yeah, well, imagine the whole world getting together and having that moment sometime in the next century.
I hope it happens.
It's up to us. Actually, that's a really interesting point that I hope it happens. Some people sit to meditate and just hope that it happens. I like to take a different approach that we can be the active coaches or trainers of ourselves. So, for example, compassion meditation. Some people will sit with the idea of compassion meditation, um, and oh, my little baby's joining me now. Come here, little baby. Hey. Um, and I like to take a different approach. So the traditional meditation, you think of compassion for someone you already really love, then you think of it for a friend, then you think it for a stranger, and then you think it for someone who's hurt you. Um, I like to, instead of just thinking of it, I like to actively rehearse it. So, what would I do if I was feeling more love for this person? Or actively practice the feeling. Like, what would it be like to, to really feel more love for them? And then I like to take it a step further and take it into my self image. Like, wow, if I was the person who always felt more love or was just in general this more loving person, what would I feel like? So I'm like actively engineering that practice. Now, when I first learned about compassion meditation, they said do it every day for a month and see what happens. And at the end of the month, I felt love for all beings. Perhaps if I'd just been sitting there and wishing for it, I may also have had that experience. But I've found that actively practicing it and actively seeing myself transforming is really powerful. Um, Doing the same thing with becoming confident and relaxed with people, or with making new habits or changing parts of my life. And yeah, I hope that um, for all of you that actively rehearsing, actively training how you'd like to be becomes a part of how you think about your practice. Not just hoping it happens, but you training, visualizing, rehearsing the outcomes that you want to have. And Tazimo, thanks for letting me know that the hand emoji is people raising their hands. I always just thought it was like a high five. Yeah, we get we get better every day. Yeah. Um, cool. Um, so wait, you raised your hand to. Was it just to share that funny way of thinking about um, Mortal Kombat or Mortal Enlightenment of the monk saying flawless environment? Yeah. Can you say it again? You said flawless enlightenment, but what was the bit before that?
Compassion wins.
Compassion wins. Yeah. Um, oh, my baby's got the controllers. Pulling the triggers over there. Oh well. Extra meditation bells for you. All right. Um, so I wanted to talk about this question that we had earlier. So in meditation, somebody found that some areas of their life they're having lots of really great improvements, feeling better, being able to hang out with some people and enjoy themselves a lot more. You can maybe think of different ways that meditation has helped you. Maybe you've been able to calm your mind more or feel clearer. Maybe you're better at being able to relax when you need to. But then what about when we notice some areas of our life where it's not really working? And there's many things I could say about that. Getting into the details of what's going on in that part of your life and exploring how we can improve it might be one approach. But I wanted to try and take a more general perspective first. Um, I wanted just to think about meditation. Um, when you're meditating, say you're focusing on your breath and stillness, um, if you spend time thinking about all the distraction your mind's done, then you'll notice you get more of those distractions. And if you spend time focusing on the peaceful moments and remembering how you just guided your mind better, even if it was just for a half a second, that way felt good to guide my mind. The more you focus on them, the more you get of them. Whiteface, is that a question or comment? If you're talking, your mic's off. Um, and similar to compassion meditation, the more you focus on the love and care and kindness that you have for the people where it's easy to care for them and feel kind, the bigger and more beautiful that becomes. And you get to the point where that feels so good that when you think about acquaintances, you've got all this love to send to them. And that can get to the point where that's so big that even when you think of people who've hurt you, love is just so much more beautiful than judgment. That the love and kindness and judgment, the love and kindness just overwhelms the judgment. So to then apply that to our life, to how we live, if you keep focusing on how your meditation is improving and the moments you felt more empowered and the ways that you've made positive changes, or the time that you decided to retrain something and you did it lots of times and the retraining worked, the more you focus on that, the stronger your self image will be of success, the more powerful your idea of change will be. And then those positive parts of you will just keep getting better and better. Then, as you go to put your attention on the parts where you've been struggling, your stronger mind, your more empowered mind, will be able to improve those parts of your life even more. So that's really a wish that I have for all of us, is that every day I hope you are actively practicing feeling empowered, actively practicing being more mindful, having a greater sense of peace and joy and bliss. You know, Spectre started by sharing this sense of perfect stillness connected with the infinite. If you are swimming in that state of mind every day, whatever comes your way, you will have massive inner resources to deal with it. So yeah, I really advocate for every one of us to um, be excited about being a mind ninja, uh, a mental programming superhero. Meditate enough that you have this power inside of you. Now, another thing that can happen as we're on the journey to enlightenment is we could get some approach that we want to improve upon, but maybe in that idea could be something that blocks us. Perhaps you've decided, all right, I'm not going to be shy anymore. And every day you're meditating on, I'm not sure shy anymore. Does anyone notice what might be a stumbling block in what I just said?
Saying I'm not sure instead of saying I'm not shy anymore, or saying I'm outgoing and when I interact with people.
Yeah, exactly. So if we focus on being outgoing, that's what we're going to be feeling. That's what we're going to be practicing. Whereas if the way you, um, uh, if the way that you're trying to change or improve has the the idea in it that's not helpful, then you're still practicing the network in your brain of shyness. So whenever we're working on ourselves, try to focus on what's the actual outcome I would want. If I just forgot entirely about all of what's going on right now and just decided, how would I want this part of me to be? If I was creating a character from scratch, what would they be like? And then meditate on that. What does that feel like? Not the struggle from where I am now to where I want to go. Just short circuit it and go straight to the result you want. Practice that, feel into that, visualize that. Now, that was pretty blatant. The I'm not shy versus I'm confident, outgoing, have a good time with everybody. But even after I learned that and transformed many areas of myself, there was some where it was a little trickier. But then when I looked at what was my positive intention, I would see that actually the way I was describing it was still kind of hooked into the problem. So then once I noticed that, I'd step out and be like, okay, what's a different way of thinking about this? Where the problem's not even part of how I think about it. And so I can be fully focusing on the solution, the way of being that I want to be. So perhaps right now you could be think of some of the things you've been working on where you struggled, or I hope that that's just something that will be part of your lens whenever you're thinking about yourself. What are the thoughts am I having about myself? What are the beliefs I have about myself? If- oh, somehow the hand controller just, oh my God, just turn it off. The hand controllers I'm not so used to. I just turned off the headset by accident. Let's go back in. So here we go, some VIP stuff just for you out on the stream. Thanks for those of you who are tuning in. Ed, it's great to have you here. Um, does any of you have any questions? So I guess what I was saying was, yeah, if we, the more skillful we get as being mind engineers, the more carefully we can see the way we phrase our different positive changes that we're working on, the better we are able to define the thoughts or the practices um, that that we want to cultivate in ourselves. And not just fixing up where there's a bug in the brain programming, but also taking a good brain program and making it even better. And, I like metaphors. I like using them for inspiration. I didn't really know how to use this controller, so I just crashed my headset. Sometimes the way we're thinking um, leads to results that we don't really want. So if that ever happens, be like, okay, cool, I'm going to learn how to control this better. Um, where some people are like, oh, I'm no good. But I really encourage you that if things ever don't go well, just look carefully at what you were thinking or what your attention did, and learn how to use your controllers better. Learn how to watch your attention more effectively. All right. So I'm just walking back into the temple. Can you guys hear me? All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, everybody. Being on hand controllers, I somehow muted myself. Thanks. I was trying to keep my baby out of the video. But yeah, somehow I muted myself with the hand controllers. And then when I was trying to unmute, I turned my headset off. So thanks for your patience, everybody. It's good to be back. So one thing I just wanted to wrap up with that idea. Not only can we look closely at how we're talking to ourselves, and I hope you notice when you've got a bug in your brain program, and so you're able to fix the bug, like from not shy, turn it into confidence, happy, peaceful. But as well as fixing the bugs, I hope we all become awesome brain programmers, awesome mental artists. And you can take good habits you have, beautiful feelings you have, and meditate on them feeling even better. Your positive habits being even better. If you're a sports player, take something you're good at, where you're confident at it, and meditate on being amazing at it. And just watch how your creativity would improve it, and then practice this new skill that you've found within yourself. Or if you're an artist, or wherever you're applying your attention, let your imagination enrich it and make it more awesome. All right. So before we move on, there was that question of like, what do we do when we notice some parts of our life that we've been able to improve through meditation, and then others when we're not getting the results? One other thing I would like to share about it is, if you have an expectation that some part of your life is going to be this good, and you're meditating and it's still not as good as you'd want, if the lens in which you are looking at it is like, hey, it's not good, you're focusing on the problem, you might actually miss that it's gotten this much better. And then as you keep kind of affirming that it's bad, you've got a part of you that's improving it and the part of you that's affirming that it's bad, and it's kind of like pushing it down and up. And if you spend time appreciating how it's gotten better, if you spend time, even if it's just small improvements, encouraging yourself and rewarding yourself for those improvements, or looking closely at what you did that made it a little better here, a little better there, as you be kind to yourself and encouraging, then you'll get more and more of those successes. So that was my 3 parts of the response. One was focus on all the things that are already great. Meditate more, celebrate your wins, let your idea of yourself feel happy and feel strong and feel great. Your sense of self be more awesome. Then you can apply that awesome you more powerfully to any part of your life. Second was look more closely at the way you think about these parts of your life and try to phrase it or visualize it in a way that it's not wrestling with the problem. You just forget about the problem and you practice what you want it to be. You feel what it'd be like if you'd already succeeded. You feel how good that would feel. You rehearse how you'd act, you rehearse how you talk to yourself. And then the third thing I just said was celebrate your wins. Be kind to yourself. You know, maybe you want to make this massive jump. And sometimes with brain programming, you just do that massive jump. But sometimes it's incremental steps. And celebrate every win. Celebrate every positive step in the right direction. Um, does anyone else have any thoughts about this topic or this question? Or maybe have a follow-up question? I'm sure it's happened to all of us. So anyone out on the live stream, Pops was just saying, seeing how different parts of your mind aren't always working with you. Like you might have just had some great success, and then some other part of you is like, oh, it's just a fluke. Um, Similar example, my wife decided she wanted to mentally train to be an awesome frisbee thrower. We play ultimate frisbee, and so she was visualizing being able to throw far and accurate. That was the thing she decided. And when we first were framing that brain program, um, the way she described it wasn't as empowering. And we were trying to shape it like I throw accurately, powerfully, and far. And she was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, come on, just visualize it. And even in her imagination, she threw it and like stumbled into the ground. And she's like, no, can't throw it that far. And then after she said it out loud, she's like, what? In my own imagination, I just sabotaged myself. And she just started laughing and like how absurd it was that her belief in the not great throw was was there so strongly that even in her imagination that won. And so no wonder she couldn't throw it that far in real life because in real life, um, this idea of not doing very well would take over her muscles and that would win. And once she saw that and laughed about it, she was then like, okay, cool. Now in my imagination, stepping into my power, I'm going to imagine long throws and control. And she's been doing that every day in her meditation practice. And when we've gone out to play now, her throws are much further, much more powerful, and they're hitting the spot. Now, you may be an ultimate frisbee player, maybe that's awesome for you. But even if you're not, noticing when you mentally sabotage yourself, the belief in a certain skill is sabotaged by the idea that you're not good at it. Similar with emotions. You know, I could say, hey, meditate on being massively happy and perfect peace and tranquility. But if you then believe you're going to do some other emotion, I hope you do the same kind of thing as my wife did when she saw herself throwing the frisbee in the ground. The stories that we have in ourselves, the different parts of ourselves, they can seem so strong or so real. Oh no. For some reason, my headset's just gone flat. I have it plugged in. I don't know what's going on. Ed, I know you're in the temple as well as the live stream. Can you let them know that my headset's flat, and I'm not really sure how to get back in. Um, if there's anyone there in the temple who would like to guide a closing meditation, um, invite Ed. Could you ask if anyone would like to do that? But also ask the whole group to continue the discussion together. You guys can do something amazing together, and I'm sorry I can't be there. And if there's anyone here on the live stream right now, it really is just you and me. Uh, any questions or thoughts you'd like to share? Maybe this isn't getting power for some reason. So yeah, I've been thinking a lot about. I've been running these sessions in VR for a couple of years, and for the people who come to VR, it's awesome. But how can I make these sessions awesome for other people? Perhaps I'm going to start having more video chat group sessions, or more live streams with the chat like this. Perhaps more shorter sessions, more little meditations, or little moments of insight. So, if you've got any requests for what you think you'd like to make these sessions as engaging or as viral and positive as possible, please let me know. Thanks everyone for joining me, and I'll see you next time.